But not the less by night the scorn of Garlon, poisoning all his rest, stung him in dreams. At length, and dim through leaves blinked the white morn, sprays grated, and old boughs whined in the wood. He rose, descended, met the scorner in the castle court, and fain, for hate and loathing, would have passed him by. But when Sir Garlon uttered mocking wise, "What, wear ye still that same crown scandalous?" His countenance blackened, and his forehead veins bloated and branched, and tearing out of sheath the brand, Sir Balin with a fiery "Ha! So thou be shadow, here I make thee ghost," hard upon helm smote him, and the blade flew splintering in six, and clinked upon the stones. Then Garlon, reeling slowly backward, fell, and Balin, by the banneret of his helm, dragged him, and struck. But from the castle a cry sounded across the court, and men-at-arms, a score with pointed lances, making at him, he dashed the pummel at the foremost face, beneath a low door dipped, and made his feet wings to a glimmering gallery, till he marked the portal of King Pellam's chapel wide, and inward to the wall. He stepped behind, thence in a moment heard them pass like wolves howling. But while he stared about the shrine, in which he scarce could spy the Christ for saints, beheld before a golden altar lie the longest lance his eyes had ever seen, point-painted red, and seizing thereupon, pushed through an open casement down, leaned on it, leapt in a semicircle, and lit on earth. Then hand at ear, and hearkening from what side the blindfold rummage buried in the walls might echo, ran the counterpath, and found his charger mounted on him, and away. An arrow whizzed to the right, one to the left, one overhead, and Pellam's feeble cry, "Stay, stay him, he defileth heavenly things with earthly uses," made him quickly dive beneath the boughs, and race through many a mile of dense and open, till his goodly horse, arising wearily at a fallen oak, stumbled headlong, and cast him face to ground. Half wroth, he had not ended, but all glad, knight-like, to find his charger yet unlamed. Sir Balin drew the shield from off his neck, stared at the priceless cognizance, and thought, "I have shamed thee so that now thou shamest me. Thee will I bear no more." High on a branch hung it, and turned aside into the woods, and there in gloom cast himself all along, moaning, "My violences, my violences." But now the wholesome music of the wood was dumbed by one from out the hall of Mark, a damsel errant, warbling, as she rode the woodland alleys, Vivian, with her squire. The fire of heaven has killed the barren cold, and kindled all the plain and all the wold. The new leaf ever pushes off the old. The fire of heaven is not the flame of hell. Old priest, who mumble worship in your choir, old monk and nun, ye scorn the world's desire, yet in your frosty cells ye feel the fire. The fire of heaven is not the flame of hell. The fire of heaven is on the dusty ways, the wayside blossoms open to the blaze. The whole wood world is one full peal of praise. The fire of heaven is not the flame of hell. The fire of heaven is Lord of all things good, and starve not thou this fire within thy blood, but follow Vivian through the fiery flood. The fire of heaven is not the flame of hell. Then turning to her squire, "This fire of heaven, this old sun-worship boy will rise again, and beat the cross to earth, and break the king and all his table." Then they reached a glade, where under one long lane of cloudless air, before another wood, the royal crown sparkled, and swaying upon a restless elm drew the vague glance of Vivian and her squire. Amazed were these. Lo there, she cried, a crown, borne by some high lord prince of Arthur's hall. And there a horse, the rider, where is he? See, yonder lies one dead within the wood. Not dead, he stirs, but sleeping. I will speak. Hail, royal knight, we break on thy sweet rest, not, doubtless, all unearned by noble deeds. But bounden art thou, if from Arthur's hall, to help the weak. Behold, I fly from shame, a lustful king, who sought to win my love through evil ways. The knight with whom I rode hath suffered misadventure, and my squire hath in him small defence. But thou, Sir Prince, wilt surely guide me to the warrior king, Arthur the blameless, pure as any maid, to get me shelter from my maidenhood. I charge thee by that crown upon thy shield, and by the great Queen's name, arise and hence. And Balin rose, thither no more, nor prince nor knight am I, but one that hath defamed the cognizance she gave me. Here I dwell savage among the savage woods, here die. Die, let the wolves' black maws ensepulchre their brother beast, whose anger was his lord. O me, that such a name as Guinevere's, which our high Lancelot hath so lifted up, and been thereby uplifted, should through me, my violence and my villainy, come to shame.